in Dartmouth. And Erin, give me your name and your title. What is it that you do here?
Sure. My name is Erin McNeil, and I work here at Defence Research and Development Canada, and I am the head of the Research, Engineering and Development section.
Okay, so what does that mean? What do you do?
What do? We are essentially the engineers and technologists that help operate equipment and build things so that we can test prototypes to help the Canadian Armed Forces advance their defence research priorities.
So the Bedford Institute of Oceanography is not you?
Not at all.
So there's this building, for lack of a better term, that sits in the Bedford Basin. How long has it been there?
60 years.
Well, so a lot of people have probably said, what is that? Did you always know what it was before you started working here?
I did not at all. I grew up in this area, and for years I thought that Barge was the BIO, or the Bedford Institute of Oceanography Barge.
Okay, but it says right on the website that it's not. It's calling it the myth. It's clearly something that somebody said, we need to put this on our website, the bio myth. So what is the Defense Research and Development Council? No, that's you guys.
Yeah, Defense Research and Development Canada.
I forgot the A on the bottom.
Also known as DRDC. We love our acronyms.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are part of the Department of National Defense, and we are one of many research labs that they have across the country, and we are situated here in Dartmouth, and we do maritime and Arctic research.
Okay.
And we are definitely different from the Bedford Institute of Oceanography, who are the Fisheries and Oceans and Natural Resources Canada, and it's a campus not far from us up the road, but they don't own the barge. It's part of our infrastructure and capabilities that we use for our defense research.
Okay, so how big is it? I mean, it's a little bit deceptive looking from the shore. So how large of a space is it?
How large a space? It's 36 meters by 17 meters large.
Okay.
And when you walk in, there's a very large hole in the floor. That's essentially a big well, so that we can put equipment and systems down into the water through this big hole. There's also some lab space out there, and there's an overhead crane and an outdoor crane.
Okay, so no submarines.
No submarines.
I mean, you must have heard some doozies of rumors over the years of what's inside there.
Yeah, to be honest, most of the rumors I've heard are that it belongs to BIO, that it's not part of national defense. So a lot of people have no idea what happens there, but they think it's something that's fisheries and oceans or natural resources related. I have heard a few random stories on the defense side that I think you would mention the one of submarines being kept in there. It's a little small for that. And I've also heard people say there's sort of high secret, top secret defense work happening in there as well. And
you're neither going to confirm nor deny that, are you?
I won't confirm nor deny that.
But lots of fun, and it's a working space, essentially, is what that is. It's a research lab.
Yep, it's a research lab. So it's an amazing, unique capability for us, because it gives us a way to take the things we do here at the lab, sort of in simulation and modeling, or things on the bench top, and we can take them out and test them in saltwater. And saltwater is a very humbling experience, and it's a really important step to be able to understand if your equipment or your concept is going to work in the real world. And the advice we need to provide for the Canadian Armed Forces is real world advice. So this is a first step, and after we take it out to the barge, we then might take it to other more remote field locations or on a ship or something like this, but it's a great first step to get it out into the real world, and it's not very far from us, so it's a very cost-effective way to do that research as well.
So are these like the ears of the ocean right there? Can you hear everything that's going on around, or is that only when you're doing testing?
It depends what we're doing out there. So we bring different systems out there. So some of the systems we do are acoustic systems, and that's listening underwater or making some noise underwater. Other work we do out there is autonomous systems, we call it, which is sort of like underwater robots.
Cool.
Yeah, very
cool. Okay. And what kind of work would have gone on in there that would help both the Canadian military or Arctic sovereignty? I'm just curious as to kind of boil it down. What is it? Why is it important? Why should we care about what's going on in that building?
Yeah, for sure. So some of the acoustic research we do, when you're looking underwater and you're trying to find things underwater, and as we all know, some of the most important things we want to find from a defense perspective are submarines underwater. And to find things underwater, you need to use sound, because it's very difficult. There are other ways, but sound is one of the most efficient ways. And so this capability allows us to test our systems and our prototypes so that we can help look for things underwater, like submarines, and that'll help us provide better advice for systems going forward for the Canadian Armed Forces.
So speaking of the forces, the new Cyclones, the replacement for the Sea Kings,
Yeah.
one of their biggest tasks is submarine hunting.
Yes.
And they do that with sonar technology.
Yes.
Was that technology tested, trained, or was it in any way involved, or can you tell me that with what you do?
There might have been some involvement at the early stages. I'm not completely familiar with the cyclone testing,
Right.
And whether it was done at the Barge or not, but certainly in the early stages of providing advice on future sonar systems and stuff and things like that, that type of research and testing would have been done.
Okay, you described what the physical space looks like, and you said a tank, or is it just open to the ocean floor?
Just open.
Okay, so it's like a big
Yeah,
smelt fishing shack.
Yes.
Only it's not on ice, it's on the water.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it's just, yeah, it's a big open well that we can lower, and you could, if you went far enough, you'd reach all the way to the bottom of the basin. It's 42 meters deep in that area, so it's quite a deep spot in the basin.
It's kind of deceptive in that way.
Yeah.
And as you say, it's a working space. Do people stay there? Is there apartments or like?
No, there's no hoteling facilities, as we call it. Yeah, so we typically, our normal use of the barge is we would go out in the morning, we would do our experiments for the day, and then we would come back at the end of the day. There is options to do longer experiments and things like that, but we try to minimize the time on the barge. It isn't fully equipped with like places to sleep, and it's sort of very minimal out there.
Now, to get here to see you today, we had to go through and sign up and show our ID. And this is a secure facility. Is that blue building a secure facility? Can anyone ever go there outside of people who are given the authority by the Canadian government to do so?
Yeah, so it is part of our secure facility. It's not at the same security level as our high security building here, but there's definitely a security process that you have to go through to get out there. So you can't just show up there in your little boat.
That's probably a good thing to note for people who might be wondering. And no open house, no kind of special field day that you can open it up and have people come visit?
That's a good idea. I'll take that back to my management. We haven't had one that I know of. I haven't been here forever though, so I will ask about that one.
Well, is there anything else, Erin, that we didn't ask you that you think is important to what it is that happens out there and the mysteries surrounding it?
No, I think you caught the biggest pieces. I can just reiterate that it's really important to our research. It's a great way for us to get things out into the water, which really makes all the difference for our research. And we're very happy to have it. It's been a huge benefit over the past 60 years, and we expect it to continue well into the future as well.
Can you speak whale?
I don't speak whale.
Okay, just thought I'd ask. Thank you.
Thank you very much.